It's a conversation that certainly can be difficult and uncomfortable, but necessary.
April is Child Abuse Prevention Month. Country singer and mother Jana Kramer is working with the Committee for Children and the Hot Chocolate Talk.
Yeah, she's joining us with tips now for parents on how to have this vital discussion with their kids. Welcome, Jana.
Hey, how are you?
Good. Thank you so much for doing this. Thank you so much for being the spokesperson for this, because we think it's a really important topic here on Better Connecticut, and we really appreciate what you're doing.
Yeah, no, of course. I mean, I have two kids myself, and it's it's definitely a conversation that that needs to be had. And at first, I'll say I have a 3.5-year-old little girl, and she had asked me a question about a private body part, and I didn't know what to say. I was like, and I made up some silly name for it, and I just remember kind of having the conversation with my husband, being like, I don't think that was the right way to do it, but I don't know how. This isn't a conversation that I had with my parents when I was growing up. So, that's why I'm just so happy that, Committee for Children have this website to basically help parents go through this, to be able to talk to their children about it.
Right. So tell us, first of all, why it's called the Hot Chocolate Talk. And when you go on this website, there is a right way to do it, right? There's a lot of science on how we should have this conversation.
Yeah, so the Hot Chocolate Talk is all kind of based around, that's even the hot chocolate, about it's a comforting, hot chocolate is one of my favorite things, but again, I know my daughter loves it, my husband loves it, and it's a way to just kind of set the scene for just a comfortable, it doesn't, for me, when my daughter even asked, I was like, and I got stressed about it, and I didn't know how to do it, and I wanted to honestly avoid it. But this is just setting the tone for it to just be a comfortable conversation and an open conversation and honest. And on the website, there's tools, and this has been researched for years on how to talk to your children and on tips. And for us, my daughter is obviously under 5, so there's an area where I'd go to do that. And when she gets older, I can go see, okay, now how do I talk to an 8-year-old about this? How do I talk to a 10-year-old? How do I talk to a teenager about this? And there's other ways to have that conversation, because it shouldn't just be a one-time thing. And the scary fact is that 90% of the victims know their abuser, and that's terrifying for a parent, because it's like, okay, now we got to be aware of who's around our children, and they need to make sure that they know what's right and what's wrong, and how to come to us and be like, hey, this happened, and to have that talk without it being scary or them feeling like ashamed to come talk to us. It should just be very open and honest and often conversation.
It's like you said, 90% of the people are, is going to be somebody that we know. Stranger danger is basically a myth at this point, right?
It is, and that's that's a very sad thing. But at the same time, now that we know this, now we can change it. Now we can hopefully help and start the conversation where it doesn't have to be something where our kids don't know. It's like, no, they know, and they're open, and they also know what is right and wrong, and how so that they don't go down that path with someone in the circle that might be like, oh, I trust them. That's so and so. Like, why would they, want to do something bad? But if they know better, then they'll be able to come and talk to you.
Right. It's important to give kids this information, because I know in some states they're talking about laws where they teach us about fire drills, tornado drills, that we should have some of that information given in schools, but it isn't right now in a lot of places. So maybe one tip you think, if you're going to sit down in a couple hours and your kids are coming home, what would you say to an elementary school student about something?
Oh gosh, well again, there's so many tips on how to do it. And I would honestly just encourage every parent to go to the hotchocolatetalk.org. Again, because I've only truthfully looked at under 5, so how to talk to my little girl about it. But there's so much research, and people have been researching this for years on how to talk to an elementary school kid about what's the proper thing to say to them. But again, it's just about making it a comfortable environment. So yeah, get the hot chocolate going, put some marshmallows on there, and just have that open, honest talk with them. But again, there's different ages, and to be able to talk to them.
Thank you, Jana.
Thank you.
We appreciate your time. And
of course.
I was rooting for you.
Thanks, guys.
I was rooting for you with Dancing with the Stars. Good job.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
All right. For more information on the Hot Chocolate Talk and how you can talk by age, as she was saying, you can head to hotchocolatetalk.com.